Hi Diksha Didi.
Hello.
Uh, you're not clearly audible. Can you increase? Can you come closer to the mic?
Just a second, I'll change my mic. Sorry.
Yeah, now it's better.
Is it clear now?
Yeah. Okay. So can you just introduce yourself first, and I'll introduce myself. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. I was just saying. Can you just introduce yourself first, then I'll introduce myself.
My name is Diksha. I'm 18.
Uh, Okay. So do you I'm Saion and I study in class ninth. And do you have any prior coding experience like with any other language before C++?
I've been, I've done Python in 11th and 12th in school.
Oh, all right. So you know the basic concepts like variables and all, right?
Yeah, that's what I've done that.
Yeah. Okay. So I will be teaching you from a website w3schools.com. I'll be sending you the link from where you can refer to all the things that you have learned, and I'll just share my screen. Okay.
Okay.
So first we'll see the introduction right now. So what is C++ exactly? So it's a cross-platform language, meaning that you can use it on multiple platforms like Windows, Mac, Linux, and on most of the operating systems it runs, right? And it can be used to create high performance applications. So like the applications today use like Google, Facebook, and all, they all use some high level languages like C++, JavaScript, Python, etc. So C++ can also create high performance applications. So it was developed by this person, so this is not important, but it is an extension to the C language. It means that it's a it all the C language code can be run in C++, and there are some um, extra features in C++ that are not in C. For example, you have objects and classes in C++ that we are going to learn in the tutorial that you do not have in C, right?
Okay.
C++ gives programmers a high level of control over system resources and memory. So you will be able to control the resources and memory that feature you don't have in Python. Python automatically controls the system resources and memory, but you will be able to control the system and resources and memory yourself in C++. And in this tutorial further you're gonna be learning how to create simple applications like calculator, and then you'll create an advanced application like a battleship game.
Okay.
Right. So the language was updated four major times in 2011, 2014, 2017, and 2020 to C++11, C++14, C++17, and C++20. So this is all theory right now. So we will come to the coding after setting up the editor in which you will code in using the C++ language. So on this link replit.com you can create your account instead of installing the editor. All right. So my account has
Okay.
already been created. So once you share your screen, then I will just you can just create your account. So I'll just stop sharing and I'll give you the share screen controls.
What was the site that you said?
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
uh, so you can just paste it in the browser. You can share your screen also if you want. I have given you the controls.
And just a second, sorry.
So you can use for post. Yeah.
Should I be beginners or new to coding?
Beginner is all right. No, I got this. Yeah. So now you can create the REPL. Press on create REPL on the top left corner. Yeah. And over here you can code in any language. So you can select C++ over here. C++, so that will allow you to code in C++, and now you can name your REPL whatever you want. Okay, you can just skip. Yeah, so this is the basic code of every C++ program, right? So this is the code that will get you started with C++. So today we are gonna understand this code also right now, so I'll just share my screen to continue with it. All right, so over here we were on why use C++. So it is one of the world's most popular programming languages. It can be found in today's operating systems, graphical user interfaces. Like graphical user interfaces are those things that you can see and interact with, and embedded systems. Alright, so this is all theory right now. It is an object oriented programming language. So basically, is not an object oriented programming language, and it's because C++ is an extension of C. You can create objects in C++ and not in C. Okay, which gives a clear structure to programs and allows code to be reused, lowering development costs. So basically, objects will allow you to reuse many chunks of code that was not possible in C. So C++ is an advanced version of C, right? And it's a much easier and better to use language instead of C, right? So if anything is not clear, you can just ask me. Right now it's clear, right? Hello? Hello?
You're on mute.
Hello? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just speaking on mute.
It's alright, answer.
Yeah. So this is all theory part over here that is given, that it is one of the world's most popular programming languages. It can be found in today's operating systems, GUIs, and graphical user interfaces are those interfaces with which with programs you can interact with. Like you have inputs, buttons on a screen, so you are able to interact with the program. Those are graphical user interfaces. And embedded systems, so it's an object-oriented language, programming language, meaning that everything in C++ is an object, right? So if you have
Hmm.
anything, it's an like in Python, everything is an object. Similarly, in C++, everything is an object, which gives a
Okay.
clear structure to programs and allows code to be reused, lowering development costs, right? So as we read above, that it's an extension to the C language. So this object oriented, it being an oriented programming language, is a plus point of C++, right? Because C was not an object oriented language, and you could not use that much reuse that much of code. But in C++, now we have objects, so you will be able to reuse a lot of code. So it is portable and can be used to develop applications that can be adapted to multiple platforms. So it's cross-platform. It is fun and easy to learn. and it is close to C, Sharp, and Java. It makes it easy for programmers to switch to C++ or vice versa. Alright, so this was the theory part, and now in Get Started they're telling you how to install the IDE, but we are already doing it on Replit, so we don't need to follow these steps, and we can come directly to the syntax. So the syntax over here shown. So for example, when I create a C++ REPL and I just say name it, so over here you'll see okay. So over here you saw the template syntax. It's loading. Oh yeah. So this syntax over here will be explained in this chapter, right? So over here in this chapter they are using namespace standard also. So I'll explain this part also. So first of all, include IO stream. What is this include IO stream line? It's basically saying to include a library IO stream. So this cout is basically used to print something on the screen. Now to use the cout method, you'll have to include IOStream in your program. So include IOStream is allowing you to use cout and C in methods like cout and cin, through which you can work with your users, right? You can give output or you can take an input, right? Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. Sorry.
Yeah. Uh, Next you have the using namespace standard. So over here what happens in IOStream, there are lots of namespaces, like one namespace will have some methods which you can use, another namespace will have other methods which you will use, right? So there are many namespaces with many different methods for many different purposes. So when doing using namespace standard, this will actually save you save you a lot of memory, because now you're only importing the elements in namespace standard, that are the cout cin methods, right? Which you actually want to use. When directly doing including IOStream, this will include all the methods from all the namespaces, but when doing using namespace standard, it will only take in this methods that are in namespace standard inside the IOStream library. Okay.
What does STD do?
Standard is basically a namespace in IOStream. IOStream is the library and standard is a namespace. A namespace is basically a place. So all the methods in IOStream are divided into categories. So all methods like cout, cin, and standard methods are in the namespace standard. So when we are saying using namespace standard, all the method inside the std namespace is are imported.
Okay.
So that will
Thank
save you
you.
that will save you memory, because IOStream will include all the methods, but using namespace standard will only include the methods that are there in the namespace standard.
Okay.
So next, blank lines are ignored in the program, and next where you have int main. So this is your method. It's a compulsory mandatory method of every C++ program. Whatever is given in this method main, that code will be executed, right? So if you call functions, you create variables, you print something, all is should be given in your main method, and that only will get executed. If I try to print something outside of our main method, then it won't get executed. All right. And int main, I think you will learn further about functions in this um, um, tutorial, but int is basically defining the return type of this function, what should be returned, right? So return 0 will also not make a difference, because in Python also there were methods like where you could return values, but in over here this is main is a mandatory function in C++, and it will return an integer. If you're not giving a return yourself, then it will by default return 0, right?
Okay.
Next, every function has curly braces. So to open a function, you'll have to give curly braces, and inside the function you have cout. So cout is used to print something on the screen, right? So using cout you can print something on the screen, and this cout method is imported from the iostream library. Okay, so it
Okay.
is included from the iostream library, and after this is an operator. These two arrows are is an operator. It's called an insertion operator. So what this insertion operator will do, it will tell cout that what should be printed on the screen. So here we are saying it should print hello world, right? So it will show hello world on the screen. So when I run the program, it is giving hello world on the screen. Now you may be wondering, what is this backslash n? This backslash n,
That's for you.
yeah, that's the escape character that will insert a new line in your program, uh, in your
Okay.
output, right?
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
and everything in this is just a terminology. Everything in these braces is called the body of the method, right? So return 0, you can either give, as I told you, you can either give return 0, or it is returned by default, right? So we don't need to worry about the return statement right now. So if you have any doubts, then please tell me.
No, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay. Next we are on omitting namespace, right? So over here, like we said, using namespace standard, but if we remove this, then we'll have to tell the iostream library that the cout method we want to use from the standard namespace. So we want to access cout methods from the standard library. Hello.
Can you explain this again?
Yeah. So when giving using namespace standard, then what we are saying, only to import the methods from the standard namespace in iostream. So we don't need to tell additionally that cout is being used from the namespace standard. But when you are importing everything from iostream, then what is happening, then everything is being imported, all the namespaces are being imported. So we'll have to tell iostream that the cout method is part of the standard namespace, and we'll have to access it from the standard namespace, and then only we'll be able to use cout.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this was this chapter. Now we are on output. So this output chapter will basically explain the cout statement. Now you can have multiple cout statements also. Over here we have given one cout statement. You can print as many things as you want using the cout statement, and it won't be a problem.
Okay.
So this is what is being explained in this chapter, and then they are explaining the backslash n character that will insert a new line that we have already seen. And you can insert many new lines together, right? So you can insert as many new lines as you want using the backslash n character, right? So over here we inserted many new lines.
Hmm.
All right. So
Yeah.
next over here further, they're also giving another way to use the new line. Instead of using the new line character, there's another way of inserting a new line, that is through the insertion operator once again. And using the insertion operator, when you say end l, right, this will tell, okay, so here's an error, so I don't see an error. So this will basically tell that to add a new line. So I think this should work, but yeah, so it's being okay. So now this endl is also a method of the standard namespace. Okay, So this is
Okay.
endl is a method of the standard namespace, so we have to give standard over here. But if we had done using namespace standard, then all the time we didn't have to give standard. So over here now all the standard can be removed, so it will be much clear now. So over here every standard can be removed. And like here we had confusion when we were not using the namespace standard, but now when using the namespace standard, then we
Are you using spelling as well?
yeah, I saw that. So now we don't have to give standard before endl. So this
Okay.
endl method will also give you a new line, um, that is a part of the standard namespace.
Okay.
Alright, so you have many other escape sequences also, like the backslash t that will add a tab, the backslash that will insert a backslash character in your string, and then you have the backslash quote which will add a quote in your string.
Okay.
Alright, so do you have any queries?
No, it's clear.
Alright, so now we are on the C++ comments. So we will learn how to add the comments, right? So comments can be used to explain C++ code and make it more readable. Alright, so through comments we can make the C++ code more readable. So now when we add a comment like this will print hello world, so later, when you'll have big codes, you won't remember what each function is doing. So when adding a comment, it will make it clear when you review your code. It will make it clear what each function is actually doing. So over here we have a basic, very basic code. So the comments won't be this useful at this stage, but in further when coding the applications like Battleship, comments will really come in handy.
Okay.
Right, so it can be used to prevent execution also when testing alternate code. So for example I can directly so use are you on a Mac?
Sorry?
uh, are you on a MacBook?
No, I'm on Windows.
Okay, so if you press control and then slash, uh, which for me is command slash, it will automatically comment the lines you selected.
Okay.
Right, so using the two slashes you can comment any code or you can add explanation for your code. All right,
Okay. Hmm.
and after the semicolons also the comment can be added. So after the semicolon of every line the comment can be added, sorry. Right, so this code will work perfectly, and I forgot to mention, after every line the semicolon is mandatory. Instead of the include
Okay.
statement, everywhere you have to add a semicolon.
I'm done.
Okay. Now we have multi-line comments. What if you want to comment multi-lines, multiple lines? So over here we directly used a shortcut. So we here used a
Hmm.
shortcut. But what if we didn't have a shortcut? We were coding on Notepad. Then what we could have what we could have done? We could have said slash and star. So it's slash and star only, and we can give star and slash, and this combination, whatever is between this combination, that part will be commented.
Okay.
Okay, so it's up to you if you want to use single line or multi-line comments, right?
Hmm.
Now we are on variables, right? So variables, you have a basic knowledge about variables as you have done Python. So
Yeah, we've done this in Python.
yeah, so variables are containers for storing data values. So over here, like imagine a jar, right? So in a jar you can have store multiple things. So in a variable also you can store multiple values or of different data types. So like if I over here they are telling us how to create a variable. So every variable has its type in C++. It's not like in Python. In Python it automatically identifies the data type of the variable, but in C++ you will have to mention the data type of the variable. For example, I want a variable in which I want to store an integer, so I'll say int, because int tells C++ that you want to create a variable in which an integer value should be stored, and then you can say name the variable my integer, for example, and you can say equals to, and now you can store an integer value in this, like for example 90, and then you have to end the line with a semicolon. If you say float over here, float means that you want a decimal value, right? You want to store a decimal value. So you can say 0.01, or you can give any decimal, right? Uh, you also have a double. So double is also for floating points, and mostly double is used in this. Float is not used in C++. Double will be used. So whenever we will be coding, double will be used, float will not be used. Okay. Right? Next we have char. So char is used to store single characters, right? So you can store A, you can store B, and it should be in single quotes. So in single quotes, you can store A, you can store B, you can store any character using the char data type. So these are all data types in C++ that you can use to store different types of value in different variables. Right? Okay. Next you have string. So it is very similar to char, but you can store store a collection. You can store a collection of characters in this. So for example, you can store a full sentence like hi, this is a string, and it should always be in double quotes. Okay. Okay. Now finally you have boolean. So over here it boolean. So over here you can say true or false. So you can store a boolean value. So you can store if something is true or false. So this will be used in conditions. This boolean. It will be used in if, else, and all of these conditions. So the T and F, they don't have to be capital in C++. What? Like Python, where you have to keep the T and F true, false, for capital. Yeah. There's no rule over here. Yeah, it will be in lowercase. Okay. All right. So this is the syntax of creating variables. First, you have to give the type of the variable, then you name the variable, and then you give it the value. So they have given the example also in W3 schools. I'll send you the link of this website to refer to all the things that we are doing. And you can also declare a variable without assigning the value and assign the value later. So for example, I could have declared the boolean variable my bool, I'll name it my bool. So I could have declared the boolean variable my bool over here, and later I could have given it value for the further in the program, like my bool is equals to true. So this is also possible. And note, if you assign a new value to an existing variable, it will override the previous value. So you can normally also change value of the variable. So for example, I say my bool is equal to true, and later I can say it's equals to false. So this will basically change the variable's value. Okay. Right. Uh, Next we have other types. So we have already seen the demonstration of every type, right? Hello. Yeah, I'm listening, sir. Yeah. So you will learn more about the individual data types in the data types chapter. So these all types that we have seen right now, like bool, string, char, double, and int, these are called simple or basic data types. You have collection data types also, like lists, arrays, objects, right? So these will be collection data types. There will be collection data types also that we will see in the data types chapter.
Okay.
And next we have how to display variables. So normally also you can display variables like using cout, like you display a string. Similarly you can display any variable. And for example, you want to display the variable between strings, then you can, every time you want to add displays a different thing. So I'll give an example over here. For example, cout hello world, and then I can say, I could have also done cout hello. Then I could have said hello, and then I could have said world, and then I can give my bool. Then I can give another string, right? So you can, after using the insertion operator, you can break the string anywhere and then add anything you want to display. So for example, I say hello, then I break hello, and then I say world, then I break world and I say my bool, then I break then after being this being printed, I say hi. So this will show us hello world, uh, false hi.
Okay.
So, if anything is a little bit also unclear, you can just ask me over here.
Um, no, it's fine. It's clear.
Okay. Next, we have
A question.
what?
Like you used int starting. Within the start also you used int, but a different code. I don't remember that.
Uh,
Right now you're using int database.
so you
Yeah,
can
like the fourth statement. What's the difference in fourth and fifth int?
fourth and fifth int. Uh, I
In
can't
the code answer.
I can't get your doubt actually.
Yeah, in this screen, like the fourth statement you're using int main, and
Yeah,
the fifth statement you're using int.
yeah.
What's the difference?
So the difference is over here. Int main is saying that the main method will return an integer value, but int before any variable is saying defining the type of that variable. So if I say int my variable, it will tell the variable that it can store an integer value. But when I say int main and I give int before a function name, then it will tell that this function is returning an integer value. If I would have said bool before the function name main, then it would have said that main will return a boolean value. So over here I'm giving int, so this main function is returning a integer value. That's why I've given main int over here.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot.
And now we can basically perform any operation on variables also. So for example, you have int x is equals to 5, then you have int y equals to 6, and then you can take out the sum of the two variables, and that's fine. So
Okay.
I'll just show it over here also. Int x is equals to 10, int y is equals to 20, and then you can say int sum is equals to x plus y, and then you can just print, using cout you can print the value of the sum. So we can say the sum was, and then we can add the insertion operator once again, and we can say sum. Okay.
Okay.
And over here,
Could you wait a second? I need to open the gate.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's alright. And one more thing, you can basically keep on commenting the previous codes, right? You can keep on commenting the previous code, so you can refer them back after this session.
I'm back, sorry.
Yeah, I was saying that you can keep on commenting the previous codes that you have written, so that you can refer them back after this session.
Okay.
Yeah. So, are you writing this code?
No, just a second, sorry.
No, it's
You
not.
copied it.
You copied it.
I'll write it after some time.
Okay.
Like I've taken a screenshot.
All right. Next, it's saying how you can declare many variables. So over here in this example, it is telling us how we can declare many variables in one single statement. So it has given examples. For example, you want to define 5 variables of type integer. So you can give int, and then you can name your variable and give it the value. Give each variable the value. So for example, I say int, and I want to define 5 variables of integer data type. Then I can say, so I'll just delete this. Then I can say x is equals to 10. Then I want to define the second variable. Then I'll say y equals to 20. Then the third variable z equals to 50, and so on. I can define as many integer variables I want in this single statement.
Okay.
Right. Similarly, this could have been happening with double also. So double is used to define decimal variables. So I can say, could have said 10 x is equal to 10.10, 20 is equal to 20.2, z, sorry, y equals to 20.2, and z is equal to 50.5. And I could have done this with any data type.
Okay.
Next, we have one value to multiple variables. So you can also assign the same value to multiple variables in one line. So if we want to, if we have multiple variables, but its initial value needs to be the same. So, for example, I have 3 variables, x, y, and z, and all of the variables value should be 50, for example. Then instead of doing int x is equals to 50, int y equals to 50, int z equals to 50, we could have said int, then x, comma y, comma z is equals to 50, right?
Yeah.
Or
Are the spaces required or just for help?
oh, that was just for help. And you could have also done, you could have defined these first. And I think, oh, I messed up a bit, sorry. I said equals to 50, and this, what this will do, this will not give x and y a 50 value, this will only give z the 50 value. So to give each of these values, each of these variables a value, you'll have to come in the next line, and you would have to say x equals to y equals to z equals to 50. That previous code was giving z only the value of 50, but now this will give all
Okay.
3 variables 50. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so I messed up a bit before, but now this is the correct code.
Okay.
Yeah, and the meeting is about to end, so there's still, I think we can complete the variables. So let's just rejoin this meeting.
Sure.